And welcome back to Chicago Sports Update here on IAP Podcast. This is Matt.
And this is Brennan.
Yes, we both are back, and
I came back before Derrick Rose, just so clear.
I think everyone. I expect. I really kind of expect Jesus to come back before
Definitely.
Derrick Rose. So
Definitely.
you mark that one down. Better odds. Anyway, yes, thank you. I'm glad you were able to do so. Let's see. It's your thoughts on Bears free agency so far?
I thought we were just going to do 3 hours of college talk. No?
Yeah, we can break down bracket. We can do bracketology.
Every game in both the NCAA and the NIT.
Well, now that the Illini are out, I don't know how much fun we can really have with NIT.
Well, I figured, we just review that game and then preview the rest. I mean,
let's get into it. Let's stop with
Bears free agency. I don't know if there was a free agent out there that would have made me excited. Last year we were excited about all these free agent signings. In years past, we were excited about all these free agent signings. Other teams who sign a lot of free agents, what do? They don't win Super Bowls. The teams that win Super Bowls are the teams that draft well. I'm looking really forward to the draft. The outside linebacker that the Bears signed, McPhee. I like that signing. I don't know a lot about him, but from the things I've heard, read, seen a little bit, I think it fits, and it's not a huge splash. So I like that signing. The rest of it, meh. You excited about Eddie Royal? Are you?
Like that, get it up for you.
You excited about a 94-year-old safety?
It's better than Conti.
I guess he used to be. I don't know if he is anymore. Even you know what I mean? I think he's a professional. Role's a professional. That's great, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's what can you say? I mean, this isn't. I don't think there's any outrageous expectations for 2015, and I think that's been communicated. Especially, I think everyone knows the state of what the Bears were this past year and where they have to go and what has to be done in order for that to happen. I'm happy that Brandon Marshall is gone. I'm very happy that the Raiders released Matt Schaub, potentially opening up a potential destination for Jay Cutler. Again, long shot.
I think Cutler's a Bear.
I think so too. I'd like for it to change, but if not, okay. You deal with it the 1 year, then you see what happens next year. It's just kind of like it seems, but you got to be happy about your Dolphins.
Boy, that whole AFC East taking a playbook out of the AL East in Major League Baseball. I mean, all four teams. Well, I mean, the Patriots haven't done much, but they're kind of already established. But the Dolphins, Bills, and Jets are just making moves like I've never seen before in an NFL offseason with trades and signings and more trades and the whole NFL really. But it really seems like the AFC East is kind of the focal point. I mean, that being said, it's fine because I guess I'm going to be talking on both sides of my mouth here. How I said, there wasn't a lot of free agents that I'd be excited for the Bears, but I've had fun with the Dolphins off season. I can't lie. Even I saw Michael Crabtree was visiting them today, and I'm kind of excited about that. I love the Kenny Stills trade. And you got rid of Mike Wallace. He was kind of a cancer in the locker room. You got Jordan Cameron at tight end now. Obviously on defense, you got Ndamukong Suh. They've done a lot, and it's fun. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Oh, I don't blame you at all. I think it's easily one of the most improved teams, and just the fact that the Dolphins were able to pilfer some of the a really big piece. I think one of the next up and coming piece for the Saints. Did they end up getting a couple of defensive players too? I thought I saw that there was a defensive trade too.
Yeah, there's
From
been
New Orleans.
so much going on. I think they just maybe a late draft pick, maybe.
Okay.
As far as I know, but I don't know. There's been so much going on that it's been hard to keep track.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you still got Kong Su and
Easy,
yeah, yeah, Donkey Kong Su and that I'm at Spiegel. But the a very one of the most dynamic defensive players in the game right now. Certainly very much deserving of of that sort of contract or that type of contract. Certainly very much pricing himself out of Detroit. And they didn't even want anything to do with him. It was just like, you know what, forget it. He's not going to be worth it. I don't know what. I would think Detroit needs him more than he needed Detroit. And
absolutely. The best thing for him was the guy Detroit.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that it's been said about him, I heard on some of the radios here, the one station I do listen to, I know that Sue is more of someone that's focused out for life outside of football. And that's not to say he's going to retire prematurely. I shouldn't say prematurely. But the world's his oyster, and that's what he wants to be. He wants to be the next Magic Johnson-esque individual. And who can blame him? Good aspirations to have.
Yeah, and I heard an opinion. It was from the former senior editor of Pro Football Weekly. He joins the Score every so often, and he said that he thinks Sue is probably the second best defensive player in the league. So as far as that, money, like you said, I definitely think he's worth it as well, as long as he can stay under control. And the kind of weak coaching staff that Miami has scares me a little, that he could end up as, the next Hainsworth.
Yeah.
But if he can kind of control his temper and Andrew Shawness, I think he's well worth it and is a great addition.
Oh yeah, it certainly makes the AFC, obviously it makes the AFC East more competitive. I think it really puts them into that wild card, that wild card conversation, if not for a division. It's becoming that much more competitive. That's just also the nature of the NFL. But they're also in a very, very good position to do very, very good things. Whether Ryan Tannehill's the future, I don't know.
I think part of it was the lack of weapons, and
yeah,
I'm excited about Kenny Stills. I'm excited about Jordan Cameron as long as his brain is still intact. And he's not going to be Tom Brady. He's not the upper echelon, but I think he could fit somewhere nicely in that second tier. And that's, if you have a dominating defense,
that's all you need.
Right. That's all you need. So,
I would really take Tannehill over Dalton, and
I'd take Geno Smith over Dalton. I think. Well, maybe not. Maybe not that bad, but
that's close to a push.
Yeah, that's like
pick your poison. But yeah, I like what they're doing. I think their coaching staff needs to strengthen themselves more, like you said. But if that's your weakest link, as long as they're competent individuals and you don't have Mark Trestman on your staff, or Aaron Cromer, or any of those crackpots that the Bears have employed over the past couple of years, I think you're going to be fine. Copper pots. No, copper pots are for car commercials. So, yes. NFL's been doing NFL things. One of the biggest stories out there right now is that I believe his name was Frank Borland.
Yeah.
Or is it Chris? Okay, Frank Borland, I believe that was his name, of the San Francisco 49ers decided to...
It's Chris Borland.
It is Chris Borland, okay. Chris Borland decided to get out while the getting was good and not have to suffer through what is looking to be like a disastrous season for the 49ers.
I don't know if you saw my tweet tonight. It was on the day that he retired. Was that just yesterday? I worked so crazy that I can't even keep up. But
yeah, a couple days ago.
I tweeted... with the first pick of the 2016 draft, the San Francisco 49ers select. Because I think that's might be what we're looking at here. I don't know if they're going to win more than 2 games. They don't have a... How are they even going to put a team on the field? They don't have a roster.
No, they really don't have a roster right now. I think... I would wonder. Let's see. I'm sure Patrick would take the wager that I believe that the Raiders will have more wins than the 49ers next year. And I believe the 49ers coach currently, whoever that crackpot is, that's up there with Trestman level, I think. I don't think he lasts more than... Oh, boy.
Well, he doesn't even stand a chance. Even if he was the best coach in the NFL, there's no... He doesn't have a chance.
I think he's a bye-week fire. Yeah, he's a bye-week fire, though, I think.
I hope their bye is not week 3.
Yeah, they better watch out. Well, we'll find out. Schedules what? Get released in May?
I don't even know. Is it after the draft or before the draft?
I think it's after the draft.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I know they've moved. They keep punting the draft. Further and further. So, boo, boo, boo. Let's see. Good for him and for telling the truth on why he did retire. He could have said anything, and good for him for saying what his for what his intentions were and his logic behind it. So, I know we've talked about concussions before on here. Certainly, Chicago media is Chicago afternoon media. One station, I guess, #1 ratings for men 25 to 45, I believe.
And gay men as well.
Sexuality doesn't matter. Sexual preference need not apply. They're very familiar with the reasons and the concussion information that is out there. So, good for him. And I'm with Theo on the Chris Bryant situation, and I feel like Scott Boras is just baiting the Sun-Times.
He's doing his job. Boras is doing his job.
Don't tell the Sun-Times that.
I can't get mad at Boras. He's been labeled kind of like this bad guy from previous, I guess, stories or what, some of his former clients, how he's pretty much ruthless. I know the White Sox front office not very friendly with him, but I mean it's his job is to say some of the stuff that he's saying. So whatever. I agree with you though.
I mean it's
you keep him. You keep him away to save $8 million. And okay, if he plays, he could still play 140 games in a season.
That's good. That's
that. I mean, everyday players play 140 games a season, and that's really that's a lot. So I don't understand why it's such a big issue.
It's a perfect storm for the Cubs, and unfortunately, it's a perfect storm because you have a willfully ignorant outlet willing to find anything to push the panic button, to instill, I don't want to say fear, but sow seeds of distrust and further a narrative that is just flat out false. And that's just a shame. That really is. It's a real shame that that's the case, especially when that outlet had been so forgiving And if you don't know what we're talking about the Sun Times. I mentioned it before. We don't need to hype